Well, you've heard the Republican presidential hopefuls face off last night. Fresh off those punches, former Minnesota governor and Republican presidential candidate Tim Pawlenty joins us from Manchester, New Hampshire. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Hey, we want to just play a little clip from last night because it looked like your chance to attack Mitt Romney. You'd done it the day before and you didn't last night. Here's what you said.
President Obama is the person who I quoted in saying he looked to Massachusetts for designing his program. He's the one who said it's a blueprint in that he merged the two programs. And so using the term Obamacare was a reflection of the president's comments that he designed Obamacare on the Massachusetts health care plan.
So, Governor, what happened on Sunday on the Chris Wallace show? You attacked the former governor of Massachusetts, calling it Obamacare. You had a chance last night. Why didn't you follow through?
Well, Steve, I said essentially the same thing in that clip as I did on Sunday morning, which is President Obama used the Massachusetts health care plan as the blueprint. That's how I dubbed it Obamacare, and I used that same term last night, so I don't understand what the kerfuffle's about. He said essentially the same thing on both appearances.
But in the follow-up question, even by John King, he gave you another layup chance with Mitt Romney standing right next to you to also attack the fact that Mitt Romney was the first person to have universal health care in his state. Some people are saying, Governor, that you're just too nice to be president. What do you say?
Gretchen, of course, as I mentioned on Sunday, President Obama said they're the same plans. That's why I used the term Obamacare on Sunday, and I said essentially the same thing on Monday. So you got to look at both clips. But the bottom line is, when you're running against the President of the United States, you're going to have to distinguish yourself, your plans and your ideas. I'm going to be able to do that because I took a different direction in Minnesota. The President is saying his plan is the same as the Massachusetts plan. But there wasn't a difference between what I said on Sunday and what I said last night.
You know, Robert Gibbs was on a short time ago, and he has said before and he said last night that the economic principles that were spouted out by the Republicans on stage last night, including you, were the same ones that got us into this mess to begin with. You have a detailed economic plan out there. You talk about cutting corporate taxes in half, to be real simple, and our economic growth being above 5%. What do you say to that?
Well, I say it's not only achievable, but it's needed. And this is backed up by Larry Kudlow. It's backed up by John Taylor, the economists at Stanford, and Steve Forbes and others. We got to get this country moving again. We got a country that's stuck in neutral or reverse, and we got to put it in drive and overdrive. President Obama is somebody who accepts an anemic level of growth, and doesn't even have a plan. You can't find him on what he's going to do about government spending reform, and he doesn't have a plan to get the economy moving. The plan that he did try failed, and so we now have to try something different. And what I'm proposing is to grow the economy by shrinking government.
One other topic we'd like to work in, Governor, and that is on the Bill O'Reilly show on Friday night. He was talking to Chris Wallace, and your name came up, and so did Donald Trump. Listen to this.
He's got to get a little Trump in him. He can't be going out. Look, Haagen-Dazs can put his picture on vanilla. Do we get that? Are we all hearing that? The guy's invisible.
Governor, are you too vanilla?
Well, I think Bill's playing the race card on me for number one, and I told him that. So he's invited me to come on his show, so I'm going to go talk a little smack with him. But beyond that, vanilla is the best-selling ice cream in the country for a reason. People know what they're going to get, and they like it. It's steady, it's stable, and it's seasoned, and that's what the country needs. We don't need any more empty rhetoric now. My goodness, we've had 3 years of the nonsense of President Obama. So I'm not running for entertainer-in-chief. I'm not running for comedian-in-chief. If you want that, go to Broadway or Las Vegas.
Actually, that was a great response, with vanilla being the most popular. But I did notice about 6 months ago when you came on this show and you were starting to say you were going to run for president, there was a decidedly different tone about Tim Pawlenty during that interview that day. You were tougher. You were out there to win it. And I think that's what O'Reilly is talking about. Do you understand that part of it?
Well, of course, if you're going to run for president, and anybody who says I lack toughness just doesn't look at my record. I don't just talk about these things and shoot my mouth off. Look at my record in Minnesota, Gretchen. I had the first government shutdown in 150 years. Anybody else in the race do that over tax or spending matters? I set a record for vetoes to rein in spending. Anybody else do that? No. I actually had more executive unallotments using my power as governor to take more spending out of the budget in my 8 years as governor than the 142 years combined.
Well,
I had one of the longest transit strikes in history before it was cool to do public employee pension reform.
You know
so
what,
look
Governor?
at the record. Look at the
Governor,
record.
vanilla beats Rocky Road
Absolutely.
every day.
He did very well last night. Congratulations. We hope to talk to you again.
Thank you, sir.